Hi, Grace. In a couple of days here, Saturn moves into your sign. It's not going to ask you the same questions that it asked Capricorn. No, no. It's going to hit everybody where it hurts. That's what Saturn does. And then it'll fix you where you were hurting, in pain. Look at this. Or where you were stuck. That's the Hanged Man. That's you. That's the Ace of Pentacles, fam. Oh, that just made it worse. Okay, there we go. Now you can see them. These are the first 4 cards. Well, I guess there's your reading. That was easy. And the bottom of the deck. I'm really excited, can you tell? Okay, now let me go through them one by one. Saturn wants to know where Aquarius is stuck. And where does Aquarius get stuck? What is the Aquarian issue, if there ever is one? It's always about ideals. It's always about principles. And not just any, but your spiritual ideals, your spiritual principles, because you can't do anything outside of them, which is a beautiful thing, and it makes you beautiful people. But also it makes you really hard on yourselves, because ideologies generally need a bit of tweaking here and there, and you are so fixed. So it can be really difficult for people to relate, because when they first meet you, you're so open-minded and so well-versed in so many things, which just adds to your open nature. But as soon as they come across your fixed nature, especially when it comes to your ideals, they get a little confused, because they're like, wait, what happened? Just like what's happening with this lighting. Wait, what happened? What is the issue? Refracted light everywhere. Ooh. Well, Saturn now takes those things within your personality that you perhaps are too stubborn to let go of, and says, right, let's do away with this. And you say, no, 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 those are my ideals. You have to understand, I need those. And Saturn goes, oh, yeah, no, I see how much you need them. How's that been working out for you? And you're like, good point, but I really don't need anyone telling me what to think. I'm an Aquarius. I got this. And Saturn's like, do you? How about I trade you that which you are 100% certain is the only way, and instead I give you this? And what is this? It's money, it's abundance. Yes, we know that, Ace of Pentacles, but what's the Fool doing there? Well, the Fool is exactly the Aquarian energy. It is the purity of spirit, the purity of heart, the ability to take risk based on self-confidence, self-sufficiency, and a faith in the greater order of things, or the energetic order of things. Saturn is going to give you back to yourself. Saturn is going to take from you your hang-ups, your miseries, your traumas, and you're thinking, well, it didn't do that for Capricorn. No, it didn't. In a lot of ways, all the planets and all the signs have an enormous amount of respect for you because you are outside of Saturn's boundaries. That's what makes you so seductively different, because we are all within the constraints. But you are way out there somewhere. You know Saturn, but it's more of an equal meeting of minds. It's not a parent scolding a child or restructuring a child's life. No, it's when the child is already an adult. And there's this beautiful thing that happens between parents and adults when children become older and become responsible adults that their parents can respect. They can become friends, colleagues even. The jokiness between them can mirror something that happens in a work environment. That is what Saturn and Aquarius will be doing. You will be giving over that which you really can't get rid of on your own, but not, again, to a parent to fix it, but to an equal. And you say, listen, I'm not as proficient in this area as you are. I'm a bit fixed, so could you please do something with this? And Saturn's more than happy to go, oh my God, yes, I would love to. I've been sitting here watching you from a distance going, man, they really need my help. The fact that the Hangman and the Star are the first two cards out tells you everything you need to know. Saturn is here to unstuck you, Aquarius. And what could be more delightful than that? That when you get unstuck, you go straight to Ace of Pentacles and the Fool. And what do you leave behind? Listen, if it's not working, it's not working. If they're making you feel like an option, it's not working. If you got to drag it out of them, it's not working. You may not want to hear that, but if you've been feeling more like this than you have like this, it's not working. Maybe you need to do a little of this to get away from this. It's not working. But what does work? You work just fine. And your work goes just fine as long as you realize that your ideals, the way you will change now, is going to affect your work, and you can't be afraid of that. It is fine to find our identity within our purpose, of course. But we don't want to, again, we want to stay away from that fixed energy as much as we can. We don't want to pigeonhole ourselves. Even if the pigeonhole is, wow, that person's so diverse. No, we don't like the labeling. We don't like the categorization. It makes us feel stuck. For a fixed sign to feel stuck is a big deal because they're pretty okay with being where they are. They don't see it as being stuck. But if an Aquarian feels stuck, I love it. What does one do? Well, Ace of Cups, here come the opportunities, here comes the abundance, here comes the love, if you want it. And it happens, again, after you give over to the universe, to the different circumstances Saturn is going to put you in. You give over this sense of control. See, Aquarians stick to their ideals the way they do because it is a way to be able to control something in a basically chaotic world. So the thinking is, I can control what I believe. Look and look and look and look. Saying a lot. It's saying you got this. It's saying it's your year. What a year, but still. All these good things. I mean, this is pretty safe, right? But what if you're one of the people that's still here, or you don't even want to admit to yourself that you're here. You don't want to admit to yourself that that partner, although wonderful, may not quite be it. I rarely make that face. I just... Ooh. When there's so much good, Saturn can't help but notice the trash in the corner and take it out. I'm not saying whoever you're dealing with is trash. Please don't take it that way. Just saying. If it's not good for you, it's going to get thrown out. So one idea might be to gracefully bow out while things are still getting good. Or Saturn's going to teach you the hard way that what you think and what you believe isn't always the way. There is a certain lack of compassion that comes with sticking to your guns. And I believe sincerely that Saturn wants to soften you a little. It wanted to polish the fuck out of Capricorn, and man did it. But with you, I think it wants to soften you a little. And I think you should let it. It will make the money easier. It'll make interpersonal relationships easier. It will pull in all sorts of abundance that is way more valuable to you than money. And I know you have this bleeding heart, often associated with Aquarius. And I know you want to help. But there are ways to help without putting yourself in too much danger. But of course, it's on your mind. You are the sign of the collective. So if the collective is suffering, Aquarius suffers deeply. For now, just sit back and watch. I love when this card comes up because it's easy then. Like, okay, this and this and this is going on, but I need you to just completely chill. Don't react. In that non-reaction, there will be an opportunity. There's also an opportunity in the reaction, but that is not an option we would like to avail at all. No, 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 no. No, that's messy mess. No, the way you keep yourself on track right now is to not react, is to be honest and open with this Saturnian energy and say, yeah, I have been really set in some of my ways for a long time, and I can even see how it's detrimental for me, but somehow I can't seem to work myself out of it because I'm stubborn and I'm smart. And Saturn's like, cool, that doesn't seem that hard to do. Let's get started right away. And right away, you start to see some really good changes. Money gets easier, opportunities are there. Sure, they're a bit risky, but they pay off. And then there is the acknowledgement of what has been and the promise of what is to be. Very different. Very different. But it be like that sometimes. Sometimes you gotta wait a long time until the other person is as ready as you, because you don't want anyone who's not as ready as you. And if you've been feeling a lot like you're dealing with someone who's not as ready as you, pull back all the way. In it, there is huge opportunity for you, because you have this enormous power of sight when you sit back and don't react. It opens up opportunities for you to use things later because you're just observing and letting it come through you without judgment. But once you look at it through a judgmental eye, you will see. The High Priestess is non-reactive, but she sees everything. All right, Aquarius. What a reading. Let's look at these cards, yeah? I love you. Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to part 2 of your reading. Now that you can see the cards, you can see how clear the message is. Like I said, the first 4 cards are the reading. To be honest, the rest of them are the extended. This is Saturn's path for you. And as you can see, it's a really satisfying one. A lot of times I think people mistake Aquarius's need for completion as some sort of a, I don't know, an uptight trait. What they fail to understand is the need for completion with you guys comes because of the satisfaction that it brings. Aquarians are deeply concerned with being satisfied. And perhaps that has everything to do with the fact that not many things satisfy you, that you are incredibly discerning, and that you want, for example, you want the Ace of Pentacles, who doesn't? But it doesn't mean anything if it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to. Now, not the way you want it to, but the way it's supposed to. There we run into that ideology thing again. So first, Saturn's got to get you out of the mindset that there are certain ways that it's supposed to come in. And I'm not saying it's going to make you compromise your ideals and values. You know that. But there are certain places where your fixed nature cannot see how it's keeping you stuck. And it's not necessarily a moral gray area. It has to do with maturing. It has to do with looking past that stereotypical childlike Aquarian identity to a much more mature, much more sophisticated even approach to money. See, ideology, if it's too rigid, smacks of provincial thinking. You understand what I mean? It's dogmatic. We don't want that. And Saturn certainly is not going to let you stay here no matter what. So if you have developed within your fixed personality this stagnation that you hide very well, I'm sure. It's an intellectual stagnation. Saturn comes in and says, hey, I know you think you know who you are, and I know you think you know what the roads to abundance are, but there are so many more than you realize, and all we have to do is tweak your understanding of yourself a bit, and we'll be there. So for some of you, this transit's going to be super satisfying. Not easy, satisfying. You don't need things to be easy. You're not that sign that's just looking for comfort. You're actually quite comfortable being uncomfortable. It's one of the best things about you. There is a song by Fiona Apple in which she talks about how the road always rolls out behind her. And the reason that she's so good at evolving is because she's okay with being uncomfortable, because she can't stop staying she can't stay exactly the same. You are, for your intellectual needs, very comfortable being uncomfortable. So Saturn's going to make things a bit uncomfortable, and it will be extremely satisfying as it kind of twists and pulls you into a new, more abundant, more brave you. Because the truth is, a lot of the times we stick to dogmatic thinking because it's safe, because it means that we don't have to take much of a risk. Ironically, you end up taking so much more of a risk with your life under the guise of safety because you don't evolve, right? So wherever in your life that stagnation seeped in, you do have hurt, you do have pain. You are wondering, if you're in an established relationship, will my relationship survive? If you're single, you're wondering, okay, this is all great, but what does Saturn mean for my love life? It means the same thing as it means for your financial life. It's going to break you and pull you and push you, and it's going to form you into a better partner. Not to say that you're not one now. But again, it's about maturity. It's about, perhaps for some of you, growing up to the fact that you don't always have to be the grown-up. I know that sounds counterintuitive, and I'm not just like, being a wordsmith. I'm not just playing with words. Sometimes you are too much of the grown-up, and you don't let people take responsibility for their own mistakes. You don't let people feel the consequences of their actions because you're so magnanimous that you can handle it. No. No, you can't. First of all, you just repress it. Let's be honest. It does hurt you. And more importantly, it taints your image of what a relationship can be. So Saturn comes in and goes, oh, look at all this. I will take this and I will give you, or I will, more importantly, more accurately, I will show you, I will teach you under great constraint how to do this for yourself, how to be this energy. And by this energy, what do I mean? Obviously, this is abundance, freedom, love, opportunity, money. and things money can't buy. Ooh. And what do you have to do while Saturn is doing all this? What is your job aside from being your wonderful self? Your job, you see these High Priestess rings. Your job is to be right here. Your job is to take these aces as they come to you and say, thank you, say thank you. Be clear with the universe when it gives you your signs. Wherever you see the duplicity, wherever you see the double standard, wherever you see that you are being taken from, speak up. Yes, it may cause some conflict. Fine. It may cause some confusion. Fine. You may have to, over the course of the next few years, leave certain situations that you didn't want to, but your ideals and principles have changed to the point where you have no choice. Fine. As long as you can keep in this High Priestess mode. And how do we stay there? We stay there by knowing that what is happening, that the divine plan, the greater plan, is much better, bigger, and more beneficial to us than our own. That's the High Priestess energy. I sit and observe actively because I'm not making plans. I don't need to figure this out. I need to watch this play out. I need to be in a state of reception and learning right now. But where you see that it's too much, you are also being called. Saturn's going to show you where people are taking from you. Of course it will. It will show you the disruptions in your life. It will show you, because Aquarius generally don't create that much of a disruption in their own life as much as they let other people into their life who are quite dramatic. And it becomes a burden that you carry because you get put into this role without ever asking to be, of the grown-up. Even though, ironic, right? Because the other half of the time you're treated like a child. Oh, you're so head in the clouds and and the other half of the time is like, yo, Aquarius, can you please deal with this? And now is the time where Aquarius goes, yeah, no, I don't want to. You know what? You made this mess. You figure it out. Now, when you tell anybody at all, you made this mess, you figure it out. What is the response generally? This is going to be the same thing here. Except instead of talking about a house or a playground or whatever, you're talking, or a kitchen, you're talking about Aquarius's life. Aquarius is looking at everybody going, hey, yo, you're making a mess. And one, it is not incumbent on me in any way. I'm not obligated to clean this up. And two, why are you doing it? Now, when Aquarius starts to ask why, everybody gets annoyed. Well, you're supposed to be so understanding. You're supposed to be so smart. Why are you even asking me? Because I deserve an explanation. Because Saturn's kicking my ass over here going, look at your friends, look at your people, look at your lovers, look at what you're allowing. And it's going to tell you like this by smacking you in the face until you get it. So the next time someone does something like this, you can feel that smack smarting on your face going, you know what? Pause. I can't let you do this. And is that going to cause a certain amount of conflict? Good. Yes, good. Let it. Get it out. Let other people get it out. Find their truth. And then use your ever-evolving ideals here that are not dogmatic, because Saturn has cracked you of that, and apply that, all that you know, all that you are, all that you know is right, apply that to your own life. Not a small thing to ask of an Aquarius. In the abstract, it's all good, but to practically get in someone's face and say, you are taking from me way too much, bro. That's like, to an Aquarius, is like, can't we just like, can I write a letter or like maybe a nicely worded text or something? No, no. The Judgment card is like, speak your truth. But only when you have to and only when it's necessary. Only when it's necessary. And based on the lessons you're learning. All right? Let's go right into the extended. Love you.